Hello and welcome to FCTV Studio A. I am Jeff Wyman again, and we are here this time with the CCRTA, the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority's Administrator, Tom Cahir. And we wanted to make a point of pronouncing your name properly. Tell us about your name. People get it wrong all the time, but you don't mind. You don't seem to mind.
No, it's an Irish name. My family's Irish, and folks from Ireland, obviously know that it's pronounced Cahir. I remember all the time when I was young, my father always telling people it's pronounced care package. So it's Cahir, but it's been Cahir and everything else. So I answer to anything, but the correct pronunciation is Cahir, yeah.
Cahir, excellent. I've been getting it wrong all these years myself.
No, that's
the
fine.
14 years that you've been the administrator of CCRTA. Give us a little brief history of your tenure there. What kind of changes and transitions and evolutions have happened in your time?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been 14 years now that I've been down at the Cape Cod RTA, and the first thing I need to say is I've been blessed with such extraordinary talent. The people that I work with every day come in, passionate about making a difference, effectuating positive change, understanding, transit needs, and staying up to date on what we can do and pushing the envelope. So, I've been able to get some things done, but obviously without their guidance and help, we wouldn't have been as successful as we've been over the years. In the first few years, we extended our fixed route service. Fixed route is hourly service that goes into all 15 Cape communities now. In Falmouth, it's the Sea Line, people are familiar with, from Woods Hole to Hyannis. And we didn't have service in Bourne and Sandwich when I became administrator, but the first couple of years we worked on that and did that. And we now have fixed route all over the Cape. It's 400 square miles roughly, and we have 15 towns that have regular fixed route service. And we introduced the Cape Flyer train, 10 years ago now, and that's been an overwhelming success every summer, 15 weekends where we try to get people out of their cars and onto the Cape. And before the Cape Flyer, I used to hear people on the Upper Cape say, I would love the train, but how do I get where I need to go when I get to the Cape? And so what we did was make sure that we had efficient bus service waiting for the train. So you get off the train and it's a seamless transfer onto one of our buses or the Steamship Authority bus, and we can get you to your final destination in a very efficient manner. So we've tried to create efficiencies. So a lot of people will not ever give up their car. But public transportation is important, and so you want to make it accessible, affordable, and safe. Those are the things that I've always tried to prioritize. And over the years with pandemic and all the other things that have gone on, it's necessitated some changes, and public transportation has become, I think, more important, and I think more people on the Cape now recognize we have a public transit system. It's affordable, and it can get you where you need to go, and it keeps vehicles off the roads that were never built to accommodate the volumes they have to deal with now on the Cape. And plus now with the emphasis on, greenhouse gas emissions and climate-related issues, public transportation, whether it's electric or not, it's getting people out of combustion engine vehicles and into public transportation. So public transportation is important, and I think that we're doing a pretty good job. The year before the pandemic, we had 1.6 million trips on the Cape. And of course the pandemic, put that back a ways, but we're now back up to like 87% of where we were pre-pandemic. And we have a free fare Wednesdays we started 5 or 6 years ago for seniors 60 years of age or older, because of our significant senior population here on the Cape. We work very closely with the councils on aging, and I thought, well, folks in Mashpee and Falmouth and Bourne and Sandwich, if they want to go to Truro, Wellfleet, and on a Wednesday they can go there for free. You have to transfer maybe in Hyannis, but it's an efficient, timely transfer. And so that's worked well, and we've seen a spike in ridership on that day. So 2 years ago we started Free Fare Fridays. And on Fridays, all our fixed route service across Cape Cod is free for everybody. So that's seen a little spike in ridership as well. So, we're always trying to, do what we can to create efficiencies in our system, make it accessible and safe. We have a a smart dart service that we've introduced. It's an in-house, we developed it in-house with our great staff, and it's an app. And you can summon one of our vehicles and we'll come and get you within 25, 30 minutes, take you where you need to go. The problem with this exciting new initiative is I wanted to provide this service all across Cape Cod, but pandemic and other things have caused a problem in attracting drivers. We have really had a problem, along with every other transit agency in the country, getting drivers. So we've been very aggressive in advertising and inviting people on to our team as drivers. We'll train them to get their CDLs if necessary. And talking to my general manager yesterday, he said we had 45 new applicants just in the last week because our marketing person has really been aggressive in getting on the radio and all the digital advertising and those type of things. So we have a pilot program right now in Barnstable and Yarmouth, and it's with well over 1,200 folks who have gotten the app and used it. We are in the process of doing it in Falmouth, in East Falmouth, starting Memorial Day of this year. We've been working closely with a gentleman by the name of Alex Kahn. He owns Shipwrecked Restaurant here in Falmouth. And he contacted me about a year ago and said, you know, in the summer in particular, it's difficult to get to the beaches and parking are challenges. So we've been meeting with him regularly, and his team, he put together a group of folks that understand some of the challenges here in Falmouth. So we've just last week decided we're gonna provide this smart dot service from Kenyans to Davis Straits and T-Ticket, and anyone in there who has an app can summon one of our vehicles this summer and get to the beach or get to business in the area. It's really exciting. It's a game changer. Yeah. And I'd like to do it in the whole town, but we don't have, we do have a lot of new vehicles that we're going to be providing the service with, but we're still trying to get drivers and trained, and so it's going to expand. But we're trying it in Falmouth this summer, and I'm sure it'll be a great benefit to many folks who get the app. And all you have to do is get on our website and the link, and just get the app. And on Memorial Day weekend, it's going to be 7 days a week for the summer. So I'm really excited to see how that works out, and I think it's going to be extremely beneficial to people in the area here, as well as hopefully help with some of the parking challenges at the beaches.
Yeah, we were talking about the smart dart system the last time you were here as well, and now it's really being implemented. And also, talk to me a little bit about the digital signage initiative that you guys have provided.
Yeah, we try to make it as easy for our customers to understand where our buses are with all the new technology development in transit, and we have a lot of new equipment and making it easier for people to look on their phone to see where our buses are at the present time, how long it's going to be till the bus arrives. So we have a few digital signs that are going to be put at various locations, and we put a few in Falmouth recently, one at the Falmouth Mall. It tells you where your bus is, when it's going to arrive, and all the other information necessary for you to take a trip. We're also putting one up here on Jones Road, at another location where a lot of folks get on our service. And we've also planned on putting one in Woods Hole, and I understand that we're trying to get an electrician to put in a pole that's necessary to accommodate. But those are 3 digital signage opportunities here in Falmouth that's going to make it a little bit easier and more informative for the people that want to take our service.
Yeah, I imagine that's also another game changer for people.
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful. It's helpful new information. So trying to make it easier and let people understand that come take our service. It's safe, and it's affordable and accessible.
So what information do you provide on these digital signs? It's kind of like how long the bus is from the stop that you're at?
Yeah, the minutes it takes till the bus will get there, and all of that information. So so I think it's just another opportunity for people to learn, make it easier to know in case they have to rush to meet our bus. They know where it is, and you can do it with their phone too. But the digital signages are larger in particular locations.
Before we started recording, we were also talking about this continuing work that you're doing with a bike path extension in Bourne. Now,
Yeah,
tell,
I mean,
tell me a little bit about that and how the CCRTA is involved.
well, you know, particularly in Bourne, ever since the Shining Sea bike path was completed back in 2008 or 9 in Falmouth, and been such a great success here in Falmouth, where more than 1,000 people use it in the summer days. There's been an effort in Bourne in particular to connect with that bikeway in North Falmouth and go to the canal. Trouble is, there's the Falmouth secondary rail line on that right-of-way. And there's been an effort for 8 years by the town of Bourne to build a rail with trail, you know, put a trail, you know, parallel where they can and meander off as they can. And I think recently there's been some leadership in Bourne that feel that, you know, that it's going to take 30, 40 years to do that, and there'll be serious environmental concerns to try to do that, and the cost would be exponentially more. And so the Cape Cod RTA, we have been, we were very creative 4 or 5 years ago. We receive a lot of federal dollars and state dollars and local assessment, but our federal funds come from different formulas. And 5 or 6 years ago, we were at a meeting in my office, and we said, well, what if we asked FTA, the Federal Transit Agency, administration, if we could count ferry miles, and that would generate more money back into our region. And so we pushed the envelope there, and we met with FTA repeatedly. We got Highline from Hyannis and the Steamship Authority, in particular Steamship, you know, Bob Davis and Mark Rosen and folks down there really dug in with us and partnered with us and did all the things necessary to provide all the information that FTA needed. So they said yes, yeah, we can count ferry miles. And that generated significant more dollars back into our region. It's called a UZA, an urban zone. And so we can spend those dollars on anything that benefits transportation within the region. So then comes the pandemic, and they had 3 different stimulus bills: the CARES Act, the CARISA, and ARPA. And the formulas that they used, and I'm sorry if I'm getting too technical, I'll try to be more succinct, but the formula that they used benefited our region more so than any other region in the Commonwealth. So we have some stimulus dollars that, you know, Bourne asked us if there was any way we could be helpful in terms of providing any resources towards completing their efforts. And FTA said, if any place that you have a bus stop or a bus service in proximity to a bike path, bike and ped, that you can certainly spend the money on that. So we haven't determined exactly how much money they're going to need, but as they proceed with their very aggressive effort now to try to get the Rail 2 trail accomplished, if they make headway with the new administration, with Governor Healy and the like, you know, we'll be able to help them provide money. So I think there's some optimism in Bourne that this might happen, and so I think stay tuned to that.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Circling back to the Smart Dart and the need for drivers and vehicles, you have this really big initiative and study going on about transitioning a lot of your fleet vehicles to electronic and away from fossil fuels.
Yes.
Where are you in that process?
Well, yes, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, that's something that, again, with our stimulus dollars, because we received a big slug of stimulus dollars, we developed a very comprehensive 5-year capital plan and a 10-year strategic plan, you know, identifying the fleet needs we're going to use, you know, the large Gillig buses. Those are expensive, $400,000 buses. So we identified in our strategic plan the vehicles we're going to need, and we hope to be zero-emission vehicles by the year 2030. It's kind of ambitious, but
yeah, that's soon.
Legislatures and Congress and legislatures across the country keep setting mandates for when one must, you know, migrate from fossil fuel vehicles, you know, combustion engine vehicles to electric. So we've completed those 2 documents, and we've thought to ourselves, we need to bring in some expertise to really give us some guidance on how people on Cape Cod can start to prepare for this migration. And so about a month ago, they started their study, and there are certain milestones, and it's really kind of exciting. We've got a lot of people involved. We're doing a newsletter every month to give people updates on certain milestones reached, and this company, Hatch, really has done a lot in various states about preparing regions for the needs, whether the charging stations are going to be accessible, where they're going to be, how long it's going to take, what does a battery. There's so much information that people need to understand before they're forced to go out and buy an electric vehicle. But it's really moving forward, and so we look at this study as something that's not only going to help us make good decisions, but we're going to share ideas, best practices with everybody. The Cape Cod Community College is involved. I talked to President Cox about, making him aware of the information we're garnering through this process. The Voc schools are going to get involved, and I hope to have all 15 municipalities at the end of the study at least involved, because they'll be receiving the newsletter. We've got this newsletter we're sending out every month, and we've got over 150 different recipients of the newsletter, and anybody who wants to get on the newsletter can just go to our website, capecodrta.org, and you can connect with us. But I think it's going to really put Barnstable County ahead of the rest of the Commonwealth in terms of understanding what's going to be needed, and what kind of charging stations are available, how long it takes to charge, those kind of things. So it's a very big deal, and I'm very excited about it. I have a person on my staff, Stephanie Spadoni, who's overseeing this effort, and she's really smart and into this. So I think October's the end of the study, and by that time I think the whole Cape will be quite impressed and pleased with whatever it is we're able to share with them.
So is this transition, once in 2030 you hit your completed milestone and your entire fleet is electric, is that going to affect the logistics of the timing of the buses getting to people, or are you going to have to adapt, and how do you adapt to that?
Well, I mean, those are the kind of things, that information is the kind of thing we hope to learn throughout this process. I mean, 2030 is 6 years away. It is ambitious, obviously, but those are exactly the kind of things we intend to learn, and by learning that, we can make more sound investments in what our needs are going to be. So that's really going to be the key. That's going to give us guidance. And on Cape Cod, we have the Cape Cod Climate Change Collaborative, which I'm a member of, and there's some great Cape leaders. Dorothy Savarese, who's well known around the Cape, is the chairman, and they have some really wonderful, smart people that obviously have an interest in climate-related issues, sea level rise, and so we were able to tap their expertise as well. And I mean, people might not want to face the fact that electric vehicles are coming. They're expensive, and there's these uncertainties about charging anxiety and battery, climate impacts on the battery. So that's why we felt it was important to get really good expertise, professional expertise, to guide us. So I encourage anyone to get on our website and get on our recipient list for our monthly newsletter.
Great, and you said the website is, again? It's
capecodrta.org.
Okay, great. That's all the things I have for us to cover today, unless there's anything in addition that you can think of that the public would benefit from knowing today.
No, I just think that I think Falmouth, is an important community, and I'm very familiar with Falmouth. I love Falmouth, and I want to make it. I want to provide the best public transportation we can all over the Cape, but certainly Falmouth, which is much larger. It's 45 plus square miles, and unlike Truro, Wellfleet, Eastham, Provincetown, where the area is much smaller, Falmouth is 45 square miles. So I think Smart Dart is the key, where you're going to be able to have an app and you can summon one of our vehicles. It's much like Uber and Lyft. It's exactly like Uber and Lyft, except two things. It's $3 per transportation trip, which is a heck of a lot less than those two, and the drivers are guaranteed to be safe and trained well, because you read periodically about these incidents that happen in Uber Lyft with drivers, and you won't have that issue to deal with the Cape. So we're keeping moving forward, and hopefully provide better service for everybody on the Cape.
Well, that certainly seems to be your goal, and you guys are doing a lot.
Well,
in
thank
the
you, Jeff.
effort.
Yeah.
It seems to
Great
push
team.
the envelope again going forward to meet these goals. It is impressive, and you serve a lot of the community, and a lot of people are using your services. So
Thank you very much.
congratulations to you guys for doing a great job.
Thank you.
So we've been here today with the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority's Administrator Tom Cahir, and we appreciate your time, and we'll have you back in a couple of months to get an update on the Smart Dart system and the bike path extension, and where you are with the study with the electronic vehicles.
I look forward to it, Jeff. Thank you.
Excellent. We've been here with CCRTA's Administrator Tom Cahir. I'm Jeff Wyman with FCTV here at 310 Dillingham Avenue, Studio A. Thanks for watching.